So action. This movie, Suburbia, came out in '97. I remember watching the film and being bewildered. I didn't understand what Suburbia was about, but it was something interesting to me because I didn't live in Suburbia, so it's kind of interesting to watch this movie. And plus, I heard about that 1980s punk rock movie that came out. So this looked better because it was like very alternative. It was like Empire Records, or it had that Gen X feel, especially with the clothing, which was like a nod to the 70s, maybe early 80s. And Giovanni Ribisi was kind of part of the Gen X crowd, and he finally got his leading role playing a young guy. So that was interesting too. Young movie about Generation X, and came out in mid 90s. So Generation X was dying. So I was very excited about seeing this movie because we're making way for the new generation. I didn't understand it at the time because I just didn't understand it. My neck. Sorry. But the movie is about these five 20 somethings, right? Early 20 somethings. And they're still acting like teenagers. They go to the convenience store, get drunk. It's like three guys and two girls. And you have the leader, played by Giovanni Ribisi. His name is Jeff. And Jeff, has to confront himself when Pony, another kid from high school, becomes a successful rock star and shows up in his limousine with his assistant and stuff. And they just hang out, and that confronts his life at the time and all the other friends. So they, at the end of the movie, we always get these huge monologues and these confrontations, but finally at the end of the movie, if you want to know the end of the movie, is basically his girlfriend and his best friend Buff and Zos, they go with Pony, and they drive away to Los Angeles. And he's stuck with this feeling of not knowing what to do with his life, right? He's kind of like trapped. He doesn't know what to do. So that's basically the movie in a nutshell. There's some tragedy in there. There's a lot of confrontation with the owner of the convenience store. There's a gun. You see that in the trailer, so I wasn't expecting that either. Apparently that's a film cliche. What else? I didn't understand. I think this is one of his best movies, mainly because it deals with this kind of feeling of not knowing what to do with your life. And I think he captured it well with this movie and with Before Sunset, with the one with Ethan Hawke and Julie Delpy in Paris. If I had to make two complaints about this movie, it's not really complaints. It's more, I wish the movie was a little bit more obvious. If they set this movie in the 80s, because Eric Bogosian said he was inspired. I read this somewhere. He was inspired by the people he knew in his hometown, I think in Massachusetts somewhere, from the late 70s, early 80s. These towny people, people who don't leave. And my other gripe with the other movie was just basically they didn't argue enough. They only argued towards the end. I wish they argued more like real people. They would have been frustrated after 10 years. They're kind of holding it in for the whole movie. And then finally in that car ride at the end, they start getting angry. Or confronting one another, right? Their feelings and stuff. So Richard Linklater did a real good job of that feeling of not knowing what to do. Captured it in your early 20s when you're young, and he captured it again when you're an adult in Before Sunrise. So it was a good movie. What else can I say about this movie? It didn't make a lot of money, of course. It was kind of out of step. Like I said, it would have made more sense because these people were, I didn't know any of these people in the mid 90s. So it would have been better if it was if it was set in that time period, 70s or 80s. Steve Zahn did a great job. Giovanni Ribisi did a great job. Everyone did a great job. Amy Carey, Parker Posey. Yeah, they all did a great job. Ajay Nadu. Yeah, everyone did a great job. Yeah, that's basically it.